Hi there guys, and welcome to another Simulator2017 video. Today we are doing an awesome scenario which is by a good friend of mine, Chris Horsfield. He has worked on several scenarios and usually bins them when something doesn't go right, but I was very lucky again to get my hands on one. And this one I think he is going to put out for release, along with the full East Coast mainline run he's doing, which I'm really looking forward to. So, 365, we're in Neen carriage sidings on the East Coast mainline south. We're going to up to Peterborough, collect some passengers, and we're going to make our way down to London. So let's see what this has in offer for us. Okay. Sorry, my mic cord keeps getting caught on my zip, so I'm just going to move that out the way before I start, and I'll get back up where it should be. Sorry guys, should have really done that before the video, and then we won't just hear my mic going. Alright, let's get set up in here. Another thing I have to add is this C365 is slightly special. Not only has this just got the Armstrong powerhouse pack in it, it also has a superalbs. So, oh, hang on, let's read this blurb first. Good morning, driver. Today you're in charge of train 1 Papa 41, an 8-car 365 networker forming the 0510 Peterborough-Kings cross service. First job is to set your train up and bring it out of the siding and head to the north of the station via platform 4. Stopping point is at the 125 mph sign. Then change ends and head to platform 2 to pick up passengers for departure time of 0510. Okay, cool. Got 9 minutes to get up there and back. That's cool. Right, what was I saying? Right, this repaint is by superalbs. So Albie Pierce, fantastic skinner. I haven't given him enough credit on this run. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be illuminated, but my guess is it's at the other end. Yes, that's one of the things that's in this, is a fully reworked traction brake handle, so it moves super smoothly and very, very fast. It takes a little bit getting used to, and I haven't quite got used to it yet. One of the other features I'll show you now is a much improved speed set, and it's always on and it's always at 100. You just pull it back. You can turn it off and on still, but it's set on to start with. The skin itself is just up to superalbs usual quality, really. Not only is the interior slightly different, he's done some work around the cab. Also inside you've got all the blue grab rails and everything, and it's a Great Northern mock out on the seats. It's lovely. It's lovely. That guy is a real hero, train sim wise. I should give more of his work a bit of credit, really. I've had to play with my graphics settings quite a bit to get this route to run at a decent frame rate that's worth recording, as you guys will know. So my view distance isn't right up to the top, and my scenery quality is 1 notch down. It seems to give me the best overall sort of view, but I'm not complaining. Right, we can buzz up to 40 here. 30, sorry. It's a very nice unit to drive, the 365, especially with these modifications. Also, my shadow quality has been turned down a bit as well, which is quite annoying considering I have a GTX 970 in here, but my processor isn't top dog. It is next on my list. I think my last video had heard me. Motherboard and processor. Everything else can just be transferred over, but motherboard and processor are my biggies that need sorting out. I've also turned the brightness up just a touch. I did do a quick bit of this scenario just to test what it was like, and it was just a tad too dark. I know Chris is going to moan because he said he'd made it summertime for me to make it a bit lighter, but it was a tad too dark. So I've turned the brightness up. Hopefully that should make it a little bit better viewing for you guys. The rain, I know there'll be some of you out there going, oh, it's going to rain, it's rained in the video. Trust me, it doesn't. It just adds to this scenario. It doesn't take away. The only thing I will say that is slightly irritating is the wiper noise sometimes, but we can all get used to that. Right, let's shut down that cab there. Let's put that in full service. Switch the headlights off. Do that. Sorry for those of you wearing headphones like myself. It killed me too. Let's just get this moving. Put a speed set on there. Well, to be fair, we're not too fussed about rushing. Let's have a look at the skin. Oh, cool. I haven't seen this one. I had to go over it in quick drive. I didn't realise it came with more than one reskin, but that's cool with the Max Peel stuff on the side. Lovely. And look, illuminated signs. Now, if only we had voiceovers. London, King's Cross, which is what all 365s used to tell you. I think that's been updated in these ones. I haven't had a go in. I have been on one, but can't remember listening out for the announcements. I was actually on my way to my mate's stag do, and I think I was probably pretty inebriated before we even got on the train. Oh, this is a 0510 service, Peterborough to London King's Cross. Great Northern service calling at Huntingdon, Sandy Biggleswade, Arlesey, Hitchin, Stevenage, Finchley Park, and London King's Cross. So arrival time into London King's Cross is 0629. You can tell that I've been on this service a few times. Not the 069 and not in train sim, but every time you got on the train at Peterborough, this was the stopping pattern really. I was only going to Huntingdon, but it did used to go Huntingdon, St Neots, Sandy, Biggleswade, Arlesey, Hitchin, Stevenage, Finsbury Park, and London King's Cross. In a weird female voice. It was brilliant. Me and my friends, especially my brother, still call London Blunden because of this. And especially living in Cambridge, you always got the train down to London anyway, so London King's Cross. I tell you what's mad. The cab view in this looks slightly better. Why does it look slightly better than it did the other day? I think it might be to do with the shadows. I'm not sure. Oh, what time were we meant to depart? 0510. Does that mean we've got ages? Yeah. Okay. Oh, no. 4 minutes to kill in Peterborough. Should we go and have a look around? Let's go and have a look around. Let's have another look at this wonderful skin. No, I haven't got headlights on. That was naughty of me. You can't pick day or night headlights in 365, which is a slight shame. It was just one of those DTG trains, wasn't it, where, considering it only came out a few years ago when we were getting things like day and night headlights, did this have a two-tone horn when it came out? I don't think so, and it was shocking. It was just one of those ones that was sort of thrown in at the end just to get us going. It's not the prettiest of units anymore, is it, since they got the aircon? So this bit here was put in, when was this probably done? 2000, early of 2003, maybe 2004. I wouldn't know without checking, and I'm going to check at the moment with me. But this was for the cab air conditioning. So for the drivers, it's an awesome thing. For us that like trains, I don't know, some people call it a happy train and think it's good. I'm not a fan of it. It looked like any other networker really, a bit like the 466s and 465s, which most of these were. Look the same. So let's have a look. It is really nicely done. There was a lot more on the superalbs website than I even thought there was. I mean, I get updates. I see his updates on like UK Route Design or Rail Sim Users. I can't remember what one he posts on the most. Even BH Reskins. But I've probably only really seen his stuff last sort of year or so. So there was a lot for me to catch up on in there. And he always just adds little extra details. There's always a little something else, which is lovely. Does a really good job. So we've got 2 minutes. Let's go and have a little peek down in knee and carry sidings. A lot of people keep asking me who is doing the rest of the East Coast Main Line. It is a guy called Nathan Smith. I will try and link to his Facebook group, but it's looking amazing. He actually came up with my local level crossing the other day, and he was like doing guess where the level crossing is sort of thing, and he did the Fulbourn level crossing, which is actually called Teversham level crossing if the sectional appendix is right. So very, very close to me, where I used to go and stand and watch trains when I was young. I say watch trains, I watched 150s and 156s, because that was all we got. That's why I came up here to Peterborough and stood here and watched 91s come in and HSTs come in and 158s, 66s prowling up and down here, 47s before that. Even the odd 56 if I remember rightly. So yeah, let's get back to the cab and get ready to go. Some of the timings on this are a little tight, but we'll manage it. We'll manage it. Now I've got 25 limit. I think I'm set at 25 anyway for the departure. Nice orange, we'll call that a Fenland sky because it looks ridiculously bright for this time of day. We'll call it a Fenland sky. I was actually at a wedding out in Maney last August, and the sky that actually did that orange Fenland sky that I always thought was a bit of a myth, that was really there. It was amazing, awesome. .105, which means we can do 100. Now, something I did notice with this, even though he's fixed this to a point, I don't know if this is just my version, but if I stick it on 100, it doesn't quite get there. I have to go to about 108. I don't even know if that's prototypical. I will ask my friend who drives these. Ah, that's not true. He doesn't drive these anymore. He's got one of the, are they the 387s now? That's what he's driving daily these days. But I'll ask him because he'll know. And the AP sound pack on this unit does make it as well. It's one of those ones that's kind of undrivable without it, because even the traction motor sounds cut out at about 60, and then you just hear. And considering on these runs you're doing a lot of high speed running. One drip on my windscreen there, just outside the reach of the wiper. You will notice my FOV is back. I'd like your feedback on it. I was getting pretty sick of getting in the cab and scrolling forward all the time, even though I did quite enjoy the view sometimes. It was just so dependent on what train I was in. So some trains you were like out the back of the cab, some trains you were like still quite close, and it was just a bit weird. So if you guys are enjoying the videos more with me set a bit further back, please do leave a comment and let me know. If you would rather leave it like this, please comment and let me know. This isn't just comment for comment's sake. I really would like feedback, so let me know, please, please, please. Should have a little bit of passenger view. Now there is no DSD on the 365 that I can seem to get running. I haven't looked at the manual for it from Armstrong Powerhouse, but I'm guessing it's just one of those one-page ones that tells you open the installer. Just have a little bit of a passenger view. And yeah, look at that. So the cool thing about another one of superalbs' little things is, if you click left and right, you will cycle through. So you can change what seat you sit in. So the only other one I can remember, Armstrong Powerhouse does. Oh, this could. Sorry, I would need to check whether this was a superalbs edition or Armstrong Powerhouse pack edition. Guessing superalbs. But I know the Armstrong Powerhouse Newmark 2 pack you can do it in. And what other train can you do this in? Can't remember. Anyway, I'm not sitting backwards. This is the side I tend to sit if I'm ever going between Huntingdon and Peterborough and Huntingdon, or Peterborough and London. Mainly because when I was younger and looking out the window, you were always on the lookout for something called sidings or things like that. There was the sidings just down here on the left hand side, which you'd quite often find an 08 kicking about in times 31s, so it was always worth a look. And if we had got on the train at Stevenage or London, like going up to Scotland, I would always sit this side, because you got the Peterborough yard and then Doncaster, one side of Doncaster, and the other side you could see from there. But I'd usually try and switch over for York to get a look at the National Railway Museum and the yard on the way out that way. And the rain's back on. No whistle because it's 5:15 in the morning. Another thing that Chris has done, which I think is a very clever thing to do, and he's shown me the results of it, and it looks amazing, you wouldn't really notice it from track level, is he's been down his version of the East Coast Main Line South and he has deleted trees. Loads of trees that basically you can't see from the track. Lots of them, we said, were blocking really cool scenic items and things like that. And as far as I can tell, with the pictures and stuff he'd sent me, it really didn't affect the way the route looked. Yeah, they might be there in real life, but if you think that pile of, see the star there, that pile of trees out in that field is solid. Right, so you think how much power is being taken up by even these 2D weird trees. So there's lots that don't need to be there, and then if you look closer, when we get even closer, you get the 3D trees. Now there's lots of these around that don't need to be. I'm not saying we need to go back to 2D trees by any stretch of the imagination, but the less we could use, the better. So this is Connington, this is the sidings I was on about. So this was an ash pit or a spoil pit back in the day, and when I first started using the East Coast Main Line, it was pretty much being run down. But you can still see the odd bit there. I'm really conscious of leaving my cursor around the place. I never really notice it, if I'm honest with you. But it's always that way when you start doing YouTube malarkey. You tend not to notice mistakes that you blatantly notice if you watch videos yourself. And I don't turn it off on OBS purely because I like to be able to go look at that, or this does that, or this does that, or it's this button here. I don't know if there's a way you can turn it on and off. I mean, like just holding right click does it for me, but I remember in some retro games, if you just didn't use the mouse for a little while, it went off. When you moved it, it came back again. That'd be quite handy. So yeah, like I was saying earlier with Nathan Smith doing the East Coast Main Line, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my phone out and look at the group and what it's called, and then tell it to you. So even if I forget to put in the description, I've told you in here. It's called, in capitals, all in capitals, ECML space add-on, all in capitals. That's the Facebook group. And it's looking amazing. Three miles into Dumpington. It's got weird, I've got derogatory names of quite a few places on this route. We've got Dumpington up here. The Borough Slums is what we always used to call it for Peterborough. And then you had Dumpington, Shatfield, and Blunden. Blunden, I suppose, is not derogatory. I can think of a lot more derogatory words for London. It's not one of my favourite places. Don't get me wrong, it's cool for a night out, but I definitely couldn't live there. This is the beautiful size of Dumpington. Jeff Fisher Plastics Company. Myers further up back there. To be fair, there's quite a lot made in Huntingdon. Lola, the old Formula 1 people, used to be based in Huntingdon as well. Now you've got TAG McLaren. Sound system wise, I think you had Denon, was it Denon and Mission? Or Mission and someone. So if you're a weird 90s kid that thought Mission speakers were like the best in the world. Yep. They were made in Huntingdon. It's also the home of Just Trains, funnily enough. Stickley Meadows, so just to our right. Over that way. They used to be in St Ives, I think. Or Just Flight was definitely in St Ives at one point. And this used to be a company, I think it was called Rico, was it? R-E-C-O? Did like agricultural machinery. But they're gone now, and it's Lidl or Aldi is there. I haven't been. They've built a new link road from like the station to the town. That takes you onto the ring road, and I haven't been down it to have a look, to be honest with you. for all my mates that lived in Huntingdon. There's only one left. So one of my mates still lives there, and I wouldn't expect him ever to move. He's that sort of bloke. And one of them is in London. He used to live in Bristol, and then another one is in Jersey, and another one is in Annapolis in the States. So not many people I know stayed in Huntingdon. And all of them actually went to school just up there at Hinchinbrook. I don't know what's still down at the station. It used to be like a little car service in place down here. Orange, what was it? Was Serviceman or something? I can't remember. And there used to be I remember being real shocked at finding a woman taxi driver. She always had a retro Volvo. She was usually pretty good, but she was one of the hackneys that was always at Huntingdon. And he never used them because they were bloody extortionate. When you could get Steve's or A to B to come and get you for half the price. It's weird, isn't it? Being on that platform in Huntingdon was always the exciting platform to be on. Because if you're the other one, you would just get to Peterborough, but if you're on this side, you knew you were going somewhere cool. Usually on sort of the 11 o'clock train out, down to London. And when we were young, quite often frequented the Electric Ballroom in Camden for their ska nights and sort of skate punk nights. Oh, to be young again. And then when I got a little bit older, it was going down to Fabric. Oh, I forgot we're on a 70, aren't we? We're on the slow. I'm trying to remember the last time I got the train. I think the last time I got the train from Huntingdon was a little bit of a work skive. I was on a visit. Yeah, I think I was on a visit up near Peterborough. And I think we'd gone in a taxi up to this visit in Peterborough, dropped off what we needed to drop off. And the taxi driver was going to drop me. I thought he was going to drop me at Peterborough Station, but he didn't. Drop me at Huntingdon Station because that's where they were from, because it was Steve's car. And I bought a train ticket from Huntingdon to Cambridge. Well, it was my only way home, really. And for those of you in the know, you can't go from Huntingdon to Cambridge direct. So I went down to Stevenage and then went back up to Cambridge. So yeah, nice little work skive. Don't happen very often. So when they do, you've got to really take full advantage of them. There's the River Ouse to our right. I sort of run out of things to say on this route because I do it so often. I'm sure I've said it all to you 1,000 times. So about now would be sort of Buckton would be to the left, and then this I think is this class as Great Paxton level crossing, the one up here. Can never remember. No, this isn't the Paxton level crossing, it's the next one. I remember being held up on my way to Scotland once because the warehouse at the Paxton level crossing caught fire. That thing there. Can't remember what it was. I think it was like a haulage firm or something. I vaguely remember. So doing alright for time. It gets a bit tight the other side of St Neots, if I remember rightly. I looked at the timings. It's always a little bit stuttery just outside St Neots as well. I don't know why. I don't know if it's loading in a new tile, but yeah, see there, it always kind of is. Came in a little fast there. Not bad though. She looks very happy. Looks like she's going for a night out at 5:32 in the morning. I don't think of anywhere you'd be out dressed like that in Peterborough till throughout the night. To be fair though, I knew quite a few people who used to go. This was the only club I think I ever went to in Peterborough was the Rock Club, was the Park. It was called the Park. Can't really remember. My mate had this weird girlfriend at the time who thought she was proper alternative. So like to listen to anything that remotely had electronic music in was like deadly. give you cancer. So we ended up at the park. I think I'm sure it was called the park with her. I mean, it's not like I wouldn't go otherwise. I mean, I quite like rock clubs. I'm not a massive drum and bass head as much as I used to be. I mean, Jesus Christ, I grew up listening to folk music and Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, all sorts. Beatles, Thin Lizzy, Led Zeppelin. Tons. I've got quite an eclectic taste. I'm also quite a big fan of house and trance, drum bass, jungle. I'll give anything a listen, really, even bloody sea shanties. There's a time and a place for a sea shanty. I think it was when I was at the Cambridge Folk Festival a couple of years ago. There was what were they called? The Fisherman's Friends. One of the best bloody gigs I've ever been to. That was sea shanties. Awesome. And then I think it was the year after. Was it the year after that, or the same year, that it was a band called The Chair, and they're from the Shetland Islands. Oh, is it still 75? I thought we'd gone up to 80. Tell I'm paying attention today, can't you? I've actually had a really busy day. I've been, because I'm off work, I've had the kids. It was my wife's first day back at work, so I had the kids this morning. Then when she got home, we went on a bike ride, and my friend, who's actually back from Jersey, we talked about earlier, came, and then I've dashed out to get this done. But I'm running most of tonight, I think is going to be my aim. See what I was saying about the rain? It's not too much of an issue because it comes and goes. And I quite like that. For a drive, it keeps you on your toes. And it is subtle little touches like that in scenarios that just make a difference. I mean, like on this journey, I'm not really expecting any yellows or anything like that. Because most of the time in real life, these things are planned and timed so well that I don't know. I'd be quoting measures, numbers that wouldn't be right if I was to do a percentage. But getting a signal check on a train on the East Coast Main Line, I mean, it's common, but it's not every train. It was actually the first time I'd been out my bike in a long time this morning. One of my favourite hobbies is mountain biking. But I actually started, I used to do it loads. I used to do some even downhill stuff when I was a kid, but I tore my cruciate ligament 5 years ago. Well, that was really the second time I'd sort of torn it, my ACL, and I used it as a bit of rehab, and I've loved it ever since again. But I broke my wrist in the summer, and that stopped me being on my bike, and I never really got to get out on a ride afterwards. So today, even just taking the kids out was awesome. It's hilarious. My little 4-year-old, my little lad, riding around on his balance bike trying to keep up with us all was most fun. Bit of a sadistic dad when it comes to things like that. It kept me laughing the whole way. So some external shots since we're just cruising at 75. I really like this reskin. I'd say I'd really like this livery, but I don't really like this livery. I'm not a fan of the boring, plain TOC crossover liveries. I can understand why they do it in that, but and things like vinyl wraps as well, as much as they can look really good, and on certain trains, god yeah, special liveries and stuff like that, definitely I like a vinyl wrap, but for day-to-day trains it's not brilliant for them, because unless they're put on permanently, you get moisture trapped between them, between the vinyl and the paint. Doesn't do them much good. I say that like I'm some sort of vinyl expert. I'm not. That is just what I've read. So if you are a vinyl expert and I am wrong, please do make it clear in the comments below. I don't tend to get too many like weird like hate comments in the actual comment section. I get quite a lot private messaged, like YouTube messaged to me, which is quite strange. I can't stop, it's at the end. That's what I thought it would be. .40.15, yeah, we're about 45 seconds late. We'll make that up though, I'm sure. Looking at the times, there's some quite generous ones further down. And what have we got after here? Biggleswade, Arsley, Hitchin, Stevenage, and then it's Finsbury Park. Yeah. Whee, look at that. Now, Chris has told me, as much as Chris's scenarios are usually like super duper, timed to perfection, real-time train sits in front of him, he goes through and puts everything in as he should. As far as I'm aware, he's even got rid of scenarios because the game crashes when there's too many trains in it. He won't even limit it. This one does have some nice fictional, entertaining, not entertaining as in stupid, but bending the rules a little. Not well, I say that as well, that's not correct either. Real events have happened to mimic what's in this scenario, but might not have been on this day at this time with this service. So the NMT has definitely run up and down these lines, probably at this time of the morning, but might not have been when this service was passing, when this scenario is set. And we might see some other stock that might not have been the same as well. What is true though is, as per real life, we're not really going to see much AI until about Welwyn Garden City, I would think, is when we'll start seeing stuff. At this time of the morning, there's not that much going up north, not that much coming down south. With the East Coast mainline paths being as tight as they are, TOCs are pretty good at having their units where they need to be, their stock where it needs to be the night before. So bar any catastrophic cock-ups, There's not that much going up and down at this time of the morning. It is quite sad. We'll get into King's Cross at 6:29, so we won't even get to blow the horn. I'm going to blow it the next whistle ball, just so you can hear it for those of you that haven't had or heard the Armstrong Powerhouse 365 pack. Also works on the 465 and the 466. It is. I mean, it's no pro sound pack. Don't get me wrong, but it does a very good job. I think the 365 is one of those that could be done for an enhancement pack, but I'm guessing there's just not the drive for it really. I'd like to see it get like the DOO treatment. A working display destination board. It's just, yeah, just a little bit more functionality. It's got very cool buttons. It's quite a different. The cabs are quite different on the networkers, really, aren't they? There's nothing really like it before or since. These big wide buttons. Not that I can remember either, anyway. And I'm pretty hot at train cabs, I'll be honest with you. I don't think there is. Are you getting annoyed by that wiper sound yet? That's why I have sort of been nipping out the cab while we've been at stations. It's just enjoyable. The scenario is just enjoyable. Right, here's a whistle ball coming up, look. Give it a good 3-toner as well. We'll pretend if anybody asks, right, there was something on that track. Tell you what I am wondering, when I'm putting the draw distance down, is whether I am getting more scenery stutters, but a slightly improved frame rate. Not sure which one I prefer, if I'm honest with you. And another thing, while I was doing some research for this, and I've also been fiddling with my graphic settings for weeks, I've done a lot of reading into this. And there are people that do like these things that say, right, you can do this and it does everything and this will get you the best frame rates. Please don't listen to that. Basically, every route on Train Sim, to get the best out of it, you would have to fiddle with the settings. We're talking a product that's been around now for 10 years. There are some routes from back in the day that you could literally run on a bloody potato. And there's other routes where people with i7s and 1080s still struggle to get more than sort of 25, 30 frames per second. Here we go, look what we got there, another 365. So, 12 car one at that. There is no blanket perfection. There is no blanket perfect settings. You might find that yours runs well at the settings you pick, and I generally tend to keep mine the same. I mean, this route's probably one of the only ones that I do tone things down for every now and again. The Trent Valley line, I haven't even really, I've come in really hot here. I've found very hard to record on, purely because of the frame rates. So there's a lot of differences out there. People often ask me my specs or what's the best settings to use. It varies. It varies even, I don't know, sometimes what way the wind is blowing with Train Sim. It is that bloody fiddly. Pernickety. Bit of an overrun, but in place to see the boards. Hoping to make up some time here. Chris assures me there's something very interesting or good fun at Stevenage. So I want to make it to Stevenage on time. And you see, that's the rain back on. I did find the networks had nice cabs. They always look relatively comfortable to me. Now, I'll be honest, I know one 365 driver very well, and I know a couple relatively well. I've been out for drinks with like 10 blokes who drive these, or drove these for a living, and I've never heard anybody grumble about them, really. It's sort of understated, isn't it? They don't exactly ooze bags of character. They don't do anything wrong. And that's why I say they don't use bags of character. That's not really true. The traction motor sound when these things came out was like Formula 1 car. I think the only thing that really compares with it is the 323, which is a slightly more higher pitch, slightly faster. That's to do with the three-phase, the GTOs, isn't it, I think? Is it GTOs? I can never remember. can do 80. How long have I been able to do 80 for, and I've been doing 75? I'm going to watch this video back and be kicking myself now, aren't I? And I need those relatively generous timings of the early morning. Quite looking forward to see where that HST turned up. What have we got there? Oh, cool. 67 with the sleepers. So that was obviously diverted. Delayed and diverted. Or it could be ECS movement. Being it's a 67 on the electrified section and all. It'd be lovely to think that they'd refurbish those Mark IIIs. But saying that, I am well looking forward to the Mark Vs that are being built by CAF. Not that I'm particularly keen on anything CAF tend to build. But the idea of new rolling stock being ordered is new coaches being ordered is sort of something I never thought we'd see again on the British National Network. No way. I mean, you've got Serco, who run the Caledonian Sleeper, and you've got Transpennine Express, both actively ordering. We'll see. Look, we weren't meant to get into Hitchin until 5:57. It's now going to be in quite early. Yeah, you've got those two both ordering Mark Vs. There's a little mail bit of Hitchin. Oh, I can see the mirror there. Perfect. Right, we've got a little bit of time. Let's go for a wander around Hitchin. Hitchin's quite cool, really. You've got this sign at the back here. Now, at one point, they were loading scrap on this, and I think it was Advenza freight. So Advenza, they had the 47s. So if you came down this way, you quite often see a 47 sitting up there. Being loaded with scrap. And then down this end, you had quite a lot of fast line freight locos. So the 56s when they first got reactivated. And you'd also find quite a lot of on-track plant down here. It was Jarvis that had a yard there, or something. Balfour Beatty at one point as well, before Potter's Bar. So yeah, there was quite a bit about. It wasn't too bad at all. soak in the ambience of Hitchin. Yeah, got loads. I think there's like a weird gym here. I've gone past it on the train a few times. There used to be like a soft play area place in here. There's a guy on YouTube that quite often gets very cool videos here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is where... Did anyone remember the famous shot of the Class 91 going beside the... Was it Tornado or the Flying Scotsman even, I think? The guy was filming it and the 91 just comes and ruins this whole shot. I think that was shot from about here as well. It's one of the guys I subscribed to on YouTube that does a lot of the video in here. Or did a lot. Who was that? I want to say Mr. Deltic or Avocet 1989. I'm not sure. Right, 30 seconds. Let's get back in our rainy cab. Did I turn my instrument lights on? No. That would have been sensible of me, wouldn't it? This thing even has a cab light. Ooh. Right, let's get moving because I'm sick of the wiper sound. Stevenage, 4.31 miles. Of course, famously, this is where the East Coast Main Line ends up going into two lines. I will do a video on the 365 specifically at some point. Their history is relatively complicated. There's a lot to go into. They were built by different manufacturers. They were originally 465s, then converted, shoe gear removed. There's a lot to go into actually. Stevenage. Oh, and a frame rate eating 313. It's worth it though, isn't it? Well worth it. This is probably one of the first scenarios I've driven down. I've got the 313 kicking alongside us. Awesome. Armstrong Powerhouse did some work with that thing. It is an awesome bit of kit. Stevenage. Got plenty of time to roll in here, so we're rolling here slowly. Ooh, stutter, stutter, stutter. We're a little bit early. What I'm going to do though... Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to do. Let's get her to watch this 313 come in. It's just such a nicely done unit. This was Wagons and Armstrong Powerhouse. It wasn't just Armstrong Powerhouse. I should make that clear before you all go, oh, AP fanboy. Yes, I am a fan of AP. I'm also a fan of DTG. It's weird how it comes straight to the cab, isn't it? It's the standing guys in the passenger saloon that I like, really. What time are we due to leave here? 04:30. No, 04. We're early, why are we not? Oh, your departure time, Chris, was a bit wrong there, mate, unless that was me coming in late, but I think I was in early. Ah, cool. We've got a bit of train racing. .313 will probably do alright in this, I'm guessing. And the 365 coming out that way. It's busy, busy, busy. And I want to keep with it. Let's get going now. That was cool though. That's not doing badly, we'll do better in the higher ranges. Fair play 313, you're holding your own there. I think that screenshot will turn out a bit better. Right, let's stop eating my frame rate now. Even though I'll warn you now, we are getting into frame rate eating territory. We will be passing Bounds Green, Hornsey. Places that like to suck the soul of train sim. It's weird playing train sim. I'm always quite astounded the distance between like Stevenage and Finsbury Park. because I always just think of Stevenage being right next to London. But it's not, it's like 25 miles from London. So many miles is it actually to King's Cross from here? Yeah, 25. And what I like about this scenario is there isn't many scenarios that, well, I don't think there is even one that came with the East Coast Mainline South Pack that actually mimics this journey, and this would be the normal journey for the 365s on the Great Northern. They all tend to stop at weird, like an all stopping stations service, and they were all 317s. You get the odd 365 doing it. Yeah, see, we're only doing 95. So if I do that, we should get up to 100. Over the viaduct. Into the tunnels. Tighten our wipers off in the tunnels of train sim because they don't leak. Another viaduct. Lovely to look at from the outside on this. Welland viaduct. We go back into 3 and then finally we got to 4 further along here. I think is it this side in here? I think it is. This is for the emptying of the controlled emissions tanks. Is it this one? I think it is, yeah. There's one also further down for the 91s. And I don't know what that little depot bit is for the 313s. I suppose it's going to be Welling, isn't it? Being at Welling. I sense another 313 there. And the flyover. Another, oh, that's 325. Again, they are not unheard of, bombing up and down the East Coast Main Line. They do happen. I think the East Coast Main Line lost its TPO service. It's very early 90s, if not late 80s. not sure. I'm looking out now. Doesn't really tell me. All it tells me is the last TPO service went out on the 9th of January 2004. Because there's the mail distribution centre at Newcastle as well, isn't there? I'm trying to think if there's any others on the East Coast Main Line. Probably I don't know of. I've always quite liked postal stock. As you know, Res is my favourite livery. Well, one of my favourite liveries. Cambridge, I think, was like a depot for the postal stock. So there's a lot of the disused stuff kicking about. We should all know this station. And if you hadn't guessed it, Welham Green. Why would you all know Welham Green? You wouldn't. Sorry, just had to do that. It's a station I think I've stopped at about twice in my life. I think Welham Green was one of the stations that was actually put back on the East Coast Main Line during a sort of electrification, sort of late 80s. I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was. Welham Green was one of them. There was a few. I'm not sure where else there was. Where there was quite a few, I think. There was a few lost as well. There was one or two lost as well. Potts Bar. Another question I was going to ask you guys is what railway press do you use? So like I use a vast network, I suppose, of different things. Rail Magazine, Modern Railways, Rail Express, and they're sort of hard copy wise. And then like Rail Forums UK, a lot of the Facebook Gen groups and Facebook specific loco groups, Class 91 group, HST group, that sort of thing. And that's how I kind of keep up to date with what's going on. But what do you guys use? Is there anything out there I'm missing? If there is, let me know. I'd love to have a look at some of it. I'm not so keen on the Gen stuff. I'm no spotter, so I mean, it's kind of wasted on me. But they're handy. Like if I know I'm going on a journey, I'll quite often go and see what's going to be about and stuff. But more the technical stuff, deliveries, disposals, accidents, delays, that sort of thing I quite like. Like I've mentioned before, one of my favourite ones in the minute is British Railways Old School. Love it. Love it. There's drivers on there from steam to still driving 390s now and 68s. I think every question on every bit of stock I've had answered on there within minutes. What I do find quite funny though is that it's amazing how regionalised, not sure, British rail drivers really are, because if you get a guy that's been just passed out on, say he was a Tinsley lad, it was 47s or whatever, 58s and so on, they don't tend to know much about any other train, and these guys are some of them are train nuts. But I suppose you've got to remember, not all drivers and people that work on the railways are railway fans at all. I think they've all got to like it somewhere along the line, but I know a few people that really couldn't give two hoots. Especially one of my mates who is a driver, and I always ask him questions, and he does. He gets to the point where he just tells me to shut up sometimes. Oh, this is getting very stuttery. It's not a good sign when we haven't even hit Hornsey yet. But I want this to work really badly, because this scenario so far has been one of my favourites. It will definitely be one of my favourites. And yes, I know a lot of you will moan about the rain, and I'll bring you back to the fact of it is for me about immersion. Even though it's a normal ride, just having to turn the wiper on and off every now and again has kept me entertained. I suppose it could go to about 100, and that should tell me about 95. Sorry, I keep looking at my feet. I'm looking at my feet when we're hitting really tight frame rate spots, because it tends to get us through it a bit quicker. I'm guessing we're going to start encountering some 91s or something in a minute. I'm assured there are 91s in here. The BH reskin ones using the AP enhancement pack. And I've said that now, which means they're not going to show up, doesn't it? The lovely Bounds Green and Hornsey. This is frame rate eating central, this is. Stutter. See, this is where you really notice my computer CPU bottlenecking my system. Oh, there's that NMT. What do we have here? Yeah, United won the Battle of Britain. With no DVT. That's my bad. I've seriously been through and checked all of it. And it's my end. That will definitely be my end. Oh. The DVT was the one thing I didn't check, because the BH Reskins ones don't come with a quick drive, and I haven't got Railworks tools installed at the minute. I went through into the consist editor and just checked that everything was there. What did I not check? The DVTs. But thankfully I don't think we'll see any more DVTs now, because I'm guessing the rest are just going to be parked up at King's Cross. So I've got a little bit of time to kill here at Finsbury Park. Let's have a little look around. Oh, matey boy's having a little bit of a spot. Texting his mate. Never noticed that before. What's on his screen? Ugh. Windows Phone. Kill it. Kill it with fire. Why does it... Looks like a sort of iPhone 4 shaped. Where have you gone? Yes, iPhone 4 shaped with sort of Windows Phone UI. Oh. You'll be covering the Apple logo, but what colour is it? It's an iPhone 4. So you've got the buttons on the side. Come on, they say this game's not detailed, eh? Somebody sat and modelled that to be in that geezer's hand. Let's see while we're here. Should we get a sneak peek at King's Cross? I don't think we'll make it, because I think it only lets you stretch about a mile. Just go and spot, see if there's anything coming out. Yeah, that's us. I can hear something. It's in my right ear. Oh, I'm not going to do that. That's my impatience. Right, that would be us just arriving now. It's just be about a minute more. Where's texting matey gone? It's vanished. Oh, she's got a phone out. It's the same. Can't really blame him. I love the idea of Android and the open sourced factor of it and everything like that, but I do love my iPhone and my iPad. They're just simplicity in themselves. I know there'll be people out there that disagree, but I would never own a Mac. If I wouldn't own a Mac for toffee in my house. But Apple's portable devices, yeah, definitely. They could look better, don't get me wrong. I'm actually genuinely excited to get into King's Cross to see what's there. Is that geeky or what? I just know that Chris will have left a few treats in there. I love the high speed 1 bridge coming off the top there. Always get caught out by this 15. Oh, going to platform 1. What can we see already? Yeah, some 91s in there. 15 mile an hour, it's about as many frames per second as we're doing. In fact, my guess is we're probably a little bit lower than that. I'm not surprised, look at that lineup. Even got a 67 Thunderbird in there. Now, I know Chris doesn't use the freeware 317, but again, superalbs, Albie is doing a 455-8, is it 455-8? Reskin that is bloody awesome. So I will expect to see some 317s in here, Chris. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. When that's out. I know exactly what DVT is. I've missed out as well. It's just the Virgin one. I haven't put the Geo in properly. All the special livery ones are definitely in. But we'll ignore that. Excellent. I enjoyed that, apart from my missing assets at the end. But again, as I'll state very clearly, that's my fault. Because they should be there. Let's go and have a look out the front there. So what can I say? That scenario was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Great big thanks to Chris for letting me do it. I think I keep saying as well in this video. As far as I'm aware, he is going to release the scenario. Where, I don't know. But I'll keep you informed. Again, the superalbs reskin is on his page. I'll link it in the show notes below. And yeah, well done, lads. Spot on. And once again, guys, thanks ever so much for watching. Feel free to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave those comments I've asked you to leave. So I will need your feedback on where you get your railway information from. And also what you think of my field of view inside the cab. So that's how far forward I'm sitting in the cab. Alright, thanks ever so much. See you soon.